Hey everybody. Sorry I still haven't done a detailed video of the whole disability hearing. Honestly, things just have gotten even more crazy, which I guess I just need to learn that that's just what it is going to continue to happen. Um Hopefully it'll stop at some point, but it doesn't. Not yet. But anyways, things have just been getting more and more crazy, and I haven't mentally been up to doing it because when I do that video, I really want to put the time and make sure I explain everything for those of you that have questions about it. Because I know for me personally, when I was, you know, going through the disability hearing, prepping for it and everything, I would have really liked to watch a video or talk to somebody that could truly tell me what that experience was going to be like. Um, so I am still planning on doing that. It just may not be for a little bit, depending on how, uh, if life's going to kind of slow down a little bit or if it's going to keep being crazy. Um, Today I went to therapy and I'm embarrassed about it. But I need to talk about it. So why not put it on here, right? So I'm in therapy. Session is, I guess normal. Um, and we were like, the session was done, and um, Cora, that's my therapist, always like walks me out. And as you're walking, like you walk out of her office, and there's a hallway, and then you go like this, and that's the way to the elevators, but that's also another waiting room. And we made it like right to the waiting room, and there was one man sitting in the waiting room, and I feel so bad because it was nothing against this guy. I don't really know. Oh, it's so embarrassing. I don't know why it happened. I almost, I feel like I could have like broken Cora's foot because I stepped backwards like on her foot and tried like I just started heading back to her office. Like I could not go back in the waiting room. And oh god, that was embarrassing. So embarrassing. And I feel so bad because if that person like took it personally, I mean he was the only person in there. Oh gosh. I feel really bad. But Cora did a very good job of helping. I'm assuming that the person that was in the waiting room had to have been her next the person that she was seeing next, because she said, I'm going to bring somebody back and then I'm going to tell you coast is clear and then you're going to be able to leave. Okay. And that, even though like I was mortified and I can't even describe all the feelings. I just knew that I could trust that I was safe. I could trust her. And I didn't look back in the waiting room. I just kind of faced the wall. I'm sure I look like an idiot. And waited until I heard her say coast is clear, and then I left. Um, but yeah, that was embarrassing, and I don't want that to happen again. And now I'm worried about going back to therapy. Like, I don't know. That's all I do is worry, I guess. Um, and the other thing that happened today that has really just caused my anxiety just to skyrocket is um, I went to the Dollar Tree, which is a store that whenever I do get groceries, that or like Dollar General is where I will go because they're small, they're close to my apartment. There's never like a ton of people in there. I can't do big stores at this point. There's too much. Yeah, that's the only way I can put it. It's just too much. So I'm going into Dollar Tree with my service dog, Paisley. And they know Paisley and I have been going in there forever. And after I get to watch the video surveillance later after all this, there is a woman that was following Paisley and I from every like aisle that we went to. And I have no idea how I didn't catch that, because I'm so hyper vigilant. Like, I'm always scanning for people. It has something to do with the PTSD. I'm always looking to see if there's someone behind me, and I never knew she was following me. But she never got anything. She never grabbed anything off the shelves. But then waited in line behind Paisley and I didn't know anything was going on. I get my bag and got Paisley around, got my cane in the other hand, put the cart away, start to make it outside, and all of a sudden that woman comes out of nowhere and just starts screaming at me, like with so much anger. I don't even understand. Honestly, I'm still kind of in shock about the entire thing, because none of it makes sense. Like, there's a difference between not agreeing with service animals or not believing my dog is a service animal and just stating that, versus like having all the anger in the world coming from behind me and like just screaming at me. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And then the woman proceeds to get in the car, her car. She flips me off and then just has this grin on her face like, haha, I got you, or I don't even know how to explain it. And I just stood there for a couple seconds, like in shock, like, did this just really happen? Like, what is going on? And of course, I wasn't smart enough to get her license plate number or anything like that, because I just couldn't. Like, I was frozen. And one of the employees, who's always been very nice to me, must have seen what was going on, and he came out and he asked me if I was okay. And I know I was getting really worked up, and I'm like, no, of course I'm not okay. That woman just followed me outside of your store and like verbally harassed me. And I'm crying, and oh God, it was embarrassing. And thank goodness for him. He was so nice. He's like, well, come on in. You can calm down, come back in the store. You're fine. We know your animal's a service animal. You did nothing wrong. And, which was very nice of him. Very nice. And I go in there, and all the employees that were in there were so nice. They basically were saying the same thing that he was saying, that they knew that Paisley was a service animal, that she did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. The cashier let me know that the woman did not, ring anything up. She didn't have anything. Like I told you, it was basically just complaining about my dog. And they got that on audio. I got to watch the surveillance of her following me, which I'm going to be totally honest. I kind of wish I didn't know that part, because I'm already like a little bit paranoid, because, when you're dealing with workman's comp, you do get followed. And I've had them, there were two private investigators sitting outside my apartment for, I think it was 2 days, when the office actually called the police, because they didn't recognize the cars and they were reporting them for loitering. So, yeah, I don't need to hear any more about people following me. And then to see it, and the realization of the fact that I didn't know the woman was following me. I had no clue. So anyways, while the employees were being nice and trying, to make me feel better and everything like that, the manager went ahead and called the police, and the police came. It was a police officer, and it was just one. He was incredibly nice. He, again, reiterated I did nothing wrong. He said that whenever you're out and about with a service animal, you're gonna, deal with some ignorant people, and that's obviously what that woman was. The one thing I did kind of have to laugh about is when the police officer was talking about Paisley and her being a service animal, and saying, well, you did everything right, and he goes, and I'm assuming that she's a service animal for anxiety. And the reason why I had to laugh about that is because my anxiety is not something that I really think about people being able to see. I think about the fact that I walk with a cane and I have a limp, a very noticeable limp. That would be why people think I have a service animal. But the police officer knew, and I didn't even have to say well, this is the reason why I have her. So again, yeah, I kind of had to laugh about that one. But he did let me know that it's been documented, but they couldn't do anything because even though Dollar Tree has surveillance video and audio in their store, they don't out in the parking lot. And because I didn't think quick enough, there was nothing they could really do. But if she does it again, make sure I try to get the license plate. And I remember asking the police officer, was this a stupid reason to call the police, or is this something that the police should have been called about? Because I don't ever want to call the police, even though I wasn't the one that called today. There's so many other emergencies going on that are life-threatening. This was not life-threatening. She didn't physically harm me. Verbally harassed, yes, not physically. I just wanted to make sure that it just wasn't a waste of his time. And he said no, it was not a waste of his time. It is a reason to call the police. Harassment, whether it be verbal or physical or sexual, it's not okay. And what she did was not okay. So I guess as traumatized, I don't even know if traumatizing is the right word, because I don't think what she did is going to have a huge impact on me, because I'm confident. I knew I was doing right. And then now I really know what I'm doing is right, and it's okay, especially if I'm being told by a police officer. So it gives me, I guess, more confidence. Because I think that's one thing that people don't realize with service animals is it can be scary the first couple times that you are out in public. You want to make sure, that your dog's gonna, or whatever type of animal you have, is gonna behave appropriately, isn't going to do something embarrassing. You have to also prepare yourself for the multitude of people that are going to talk to you, want to pet her, want to ask you questions. And that happens. I can't think of a time when I've taken her out in public where I don't get asked. I guess probably the least amount that I've gotten asked questions was when I took her to the disability hearing, surprisingly. Because nobody in the waiting room, other than the security guard, said anything about her, and nobody asked to pet her or anything like that. Um, so yeah, that's like the only time. Um, but yeah, you definitely need to prepare yourself for the multitude of people that are going to come and um, ask you so many questions, and or they'll talk to your dog like you're not there, like even though they know they're not supposed to be touching your animal or talking to they're not supposed to be distracting your animal at all. They still do it, and it is beyond irritating. I wish that I could say yes to every single person, especially the kids that ask, can we pet her? Because it's heartbreaking not to let kids pet her. And it's hard for me to say no to even adults with it, because you don't want to, it makes you feel like, well, you're the bad guy. But what people need to understand, if you let every single person pet your service animal, then they're not doing their job. Paisley's job is to focus on me and to take care of me. When we're out in public, that is her job. And I need her focus to be on me and making sure that I'm safe. And I mean, there's a big difference between her being out in public and working versus when she's just at home. And if I was to have somebody come over, that's different. Um, but when she's out working, please don't pet her. Please don't talk to her. Y'all know you're not supposed to do it. So just stop, please. Please. Because I guarantee you, anybody with a service animal feels the same way. Because we deal with it every single time we try to take our animals out. And we need our animals for a reason. Now, my reason may be different than somebody else's, and I guarantee you it is. But that doesn't mean that anybody that has a service animal, it's for a reason if they're a legit service animal. It's hard enough for a lot of us to go out in public. We need those animals. And you guys are making it a lot. And by you guys, I'm sorry. Not trying to like point fingers. I'm just saying for people that do this, they make it so much more difficult for us. And all we're trying to do is be able to function and to try and do the most basic things, like going to the Dollar Tree and getting a few supplies. And look at what happened. So yeah, having a service animal, I thank God for Paisley. She's amazing. I noticed in a lot of my videos I don't have her on here, and it's probably because like right now she's in bed, because I usually do these videos late at night. But I will try to do one with her on here. But yeah, I love her so much, and I'm so thankful for her. Without her, I don't think that I would be able to do the majority of stuff I can do right now. And right now, let's face it, I can't do a lot. But with her by my side, I am able to. I just wish people would just let us be. That's the only downfall to it. And I'm not going to let, some days I do think about when my stress gets super high, my anxiety's ramped up, thoughts going a million miles an hour, and I know I have to leave, like there's something I have to do. Sometimes I think, would it be better just to leave her here because I can't deal with a million people like wanting to touch her, talking to her, asking me questions. But I never, make that decision to leave her here. But sometimes, yeah, I do think about it. Um, it's kind of like a no-win situation because I know I can't, at this point in my life, go to places really without her. I hope at some point in my life soon I'm going to be able to. But then I also know bringing her is going to bring attention. So it's kind of like you got to weigh the pros and the cons. God, I still can't get over that thing at the Dollar Tree. That was beyond crazy. Beyond. All right. Well, I think for right now, oh, before I go, there is one last thing I'm going to rant. It's not even a rant. It's just, this is my anxiety. Another reason why it is so ramped up is I got a note on my door when I got home from therapy and the whole, Dollar Tree situation. That the maintenance men are coming in here from the hours of 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Like it can be anywhere in between then. And it's just to check. I think it's something to do with the furnace. And I don't know if this makes sense, but to have men in my apartment, have anybody actually in my apartment right now, like it makes me sick to my stomach. Like, oh, I'm so tired of all the construction people and the maintenance men and the carpet guys and the painters. I'm tired of it. So the thought of like not knowing when they're gonna come in, it's putting me on edge, which means I'm not gonna sleep tonight. But I will, I guess, end this on a positive note. I am up to dun, 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 46 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just seeing the numbers go up, it makes me happy. It makes me feel like maybe I'm actually doing something right. Like maybe people are actually liking my videos. So yeah, thank you, and hopefully they're gonna keep going up. That'd be great to hit 50. So, anyways, thank you, and I will see you guys soon.